Come on, Barry, work. This is match point in the final. You can't afford to let it get away. Good. 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 Now what about that? You okay?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
What?
After half an hour, I suppose this is Wimbledon.
I wouldn't be doing me paper round, would I?
What time did you get up this morning, Barry?
Dunno.
Come on, you must have set the alarm. What time?
5.
5? Nobody starts a paper round that early.
I've got this job down the market, haven't I?
What job?
Shifting boxes of fruit.
And then you do your paper round?
What you do with the extra readies? What with Dad being out of work?
Your dad's idea, was it?
Yeah. Him and a mate of his, wholesale greengrocer. They fixed it up.
It's too much, Barry. You're burning yourself out.
I'll be okay as soon as I get my wind back.
No, it's affecting your stamina. You can't go on like this.
I've got to earn a £5 a day down the market. 25 quid a week. If I went back to Dad and said I was chucking it in because it was affecting me tennis, he'd go spare. And it's not just him.
What do you mean?
I can't go on borrowing your gear like this, can I? Taking your handouts, living on your charity.
It's nothing to do with charity, Barry. As far as I'm concerned, you're an investment. Maybe you'll pay off, maybe you won't, but it's a chance I'm prepared to take.
I don't like it. Neither does Dad. Worries him not being able to chip in.
What worries me is your schoolwork. With your CSE coming up, that's got to be your first priority. Suppose I got you some sponsorship.
Eh?
Someone to pay your expenses, take the financial pressure off. It's a little early, but maybe I could swing it.
You're joking. I mean, who's going to sponsor some kid they never even heard of?
They've heard of me.
And they'll take your word?
Maybe. But you'd stand a better chance if I could get you into a club.
Where's Mum? Having her hair done. She left you some sandwiches. What's the hurry?
Going down to the club.
Not again. Honestly, Beetle, haven't you got any other interests in life? I mean, hitting a ball backwards and forwards across a net. It's pathetic.
Not as pathetic as admiring yourself in the mirror all day.
I'm not admiring myself. I'm getting to know my face. Mr. Hawkins says that all actors should get to know their faces intimately.
Who is Mr. Hawkins?
Takes us for makeup. I think he's got a crush on me.
That's what you said about the other one. That man who directed you in that Shakespeare thing.
That was right. He made a pass at me at the first night party.
You never told me.
There's a lot of things I never tell you, Beetle dear. You're much too young.
I'm nearly 14, and Mum told you to stop calling me that.
Beetle? Can't think why you make such a fuss about it. It's a term of endearment.
No, it isn't. You're taking the mickey.
Rubbish. Beetles are sweet little things, scuttling about, always on the go. Rather like you on a tennis court. Not particularly graceful, I admit, but such energy.
Oh, shut up.
You oughtn't to play so soon after eating. You'll give yourself indigestion.
How would you know? The only exercise you ever take is painting your fingernails.
I'm afraid it's out of the question, Frank. Your 6-month waiting list.
Not for the free places, Major. There's still a couple of vacancies.
Oh, you don't have to fill them. It's at the discretion of the committee. Well, they're not keen to take on any more young tearaways after that Poskett business.
Barry's not a tearaway.
Guarantee that, can you?
I can guarantee if you don't snap him up, someone else will.
How good is he?
There's no one in this club who could take a set off him. And I haven't started working on him yet.
And you'll take the responsibility if there's any trouble.
Yes.
You realize what that means, Frank. Your position in this club could be at stake.
I said I'd take the responsibility, Major.
Very well. Well, sit down, young fellow. Now, Mr. Abbott tells me that you're an exciting prospect and that we ought to snap you up. The point is this. We do have a few free places for promising youngsters, but in return we expect them to behave themselves. Understood?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I jumped to the wrong conclusion when I found you in the changing room the other day, but we caught a boy stealing some months ago, so I was naturally suspicious.
That's okay.
Now, we have strict rules in this club. After 6 o'clock, juniors must vacate their court if it's required by a full member. And whites must be worn at all times.
Whites? Does that mean I've got to get the full gear?
Don't worry, I'll help you out.
I don't need your help. Just tell me how much it'll come to.
50 quid.
30 saved up. If you lend me the rest, I'll pay you back by the end of the month.
Okay.
Frank,
Hello, Lucy.
hi. Have you got the entry forms for the County Under-16s yet?
Not yet.
If they haven't arrived by tomorrow morning, I'll give them a ring.
Thanks.
Listen, I've got a teach-in down in Sussex tomorrow, so I can't make either of your lessons. Why don't you give each other a workout after school?
Okay. What time can you be here?
4.
Right, see you then.
What about me whites?
Get in. We're going shopping.
£50? You must be out of your mind.
I've got to have the gear, Dad. It's the club rule.
Do you know how long it takes your mum to earn £50?
Oh, I don't mind, Jack. Isn't a good cause.
Good cause, punching around on a tennis court while you're out scrubbing floors.
It's my money. I work for it.
Which means your mother has to pay for your keep.
He's only 14, Jack. We should be paying for his keep.
All I need is a bit of time, Dad, so I can get some sponsorship.
Sponsorship? Who's going to sponsor you, eh?
Dunno. Frank says he can fix
Oh,
it.
it's Frank now, is it? I suppose it's Frank to put you up to buying all that rubbish.
All he did was introduce me to the club, so I stand a better chance of finding a sponsor. And the geezer there says I have to have whites.
A racket. It's a bleeding racket.
And that's another thing.
What?
I'll need a racket.
You are not wasting another penny. Hey, do you hear me? From now on, you'll hand over all your wages to me and your mother. If there's a quid or two left over at the end of the week, then we'll decide what to spend it on.
Don't worry, love. Dad's not himself at the moment.
Can't go on using Frank's rackets, Mum. It's not right. I've got to have one of my own.
Of course you have. And I'll see that you get one and all.
New gear, eh? Very smart.
Just don't go on about it, okay?
Okay.
So, what do you want to do?
What do you mean, what do I want to do?
There's nothing special you want to work on. Backhand, volley, smash. Maybe I could give you a few tips.
I take my lessons from Frank, Clever Clogs. Anyway, we're supposed to work out together.
Suit yourself. Just thought I'd make myself useful. I mean, I'm not going to get much of a workout, am I?
I'm not good enough for you, eh?
Nothing personal, but it stands to reason, doesn't it? Birds can't hit as hard as fellas, they can't run as fast, their reactions are slower.
In other words, we're just inferior.
On the tennis court, yeah.
Tell you what, I'll take the net and you try and pass me. Show me how superior you are. mean for a bird?
Yeah.
You want to take the net? What's the matter?
Nothing.
Come on, Barry, what's so funny?
You scuttling around like a little beetle.
Right, that's it.
Hey?
That's it, I'm off.
Why? What did I say?
I'm not going to play with a conceited little chauvinist who thinks girls are beneath him. I'd rather practice against a wall.
I couldn't help laughing. You look so funny.
I don't care how I look. All I care about is tennis. And if you can't take it seriously, I'll find someone who will.
That's just an excuse, innit? I saw the way you looked at me, thought, what a common little kid. I don't fancy being seen on the same court with him. You couldn't say nothing, could you? Not in front of Frank. You was just looking for an excuse to get out of it.
I was not. I just don't like your manners, that's all.
Manners? Stone me, I've met some toffee-nosed birds in my time, but you're a right fancy knickers, aren't you? It's you who thinks everyone else beneath her.
Hello, darling. Have a nice game.
No.
I thought you told me you were playing someone rather good. That boy Frank introduced you to.
That's right.
And he wasn't up to your standard. How disappointing. Lay the table, will you, dear? Daddy won't be home for dinner, so we'll eat in here tonight.
Well, why can't Wendy do it?
She's learning her lines. She has to know the whole of the first act by tomorrow.
For heaven's sake, Mummy, it's only a drama school production. Anybody'd think she was opening in the West End.
It's her first leading part, and a couple of well-known critics have promised to come.
I still don't see why she can't pull her weight around here. I have to do everything.
Don't be silly, dear. This play's important for Wendy's career, so we must do all we can to help her.
Well, it'll be her turn in a couple of weeks.
Why?
It's the county under-16s, and that's important for my career.
Oh, yes. I'd forgotten.
You are coming?
Of course. When does it start?
A week on Monday, the 15th.
I'll put it in my diary. Oh, dear.
What?
That's Wendy's opening night.
Oh.
Never mind. I'll pop down on Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll still be playing, won't you?
If I'm not knocked out. What about Daddy?
Oh. I'm afraid he'll be up to his eyes that week. It's his annual general meeting on the 18th.
He'll be able to make Wendy's first night, though.
Oh, yes. He wouldn't want to miss that.
No. None of us would want to miss that.
Fancy yourself doing all that posh gear?
It's not posh, Dad, just new.
Don't kid yourself, Barry. You're deserting your own kind. That's asking for trouble.
Why?
Because I won't accept you, that's why.
They already have.
No, they haven't. All they've done is let you play in their yard. Dressed you up like a tailor's dummy. But they're never going to be your mates.
Don't want them to be my mates. I just want to play tennis.
Yeah, but you've got to have someone to play with, ain't you? They won't want to know.
Why not?
Because it's a snobby game, always has been. Now, you take my advice and stick to your own. That way you won't get hurt.
You're out of date, Dad. Frank says there's more and
Oh,
more
it's
working.
Frank now, is it? Couple of free lessons and suddenly he's God.
Well, he knows more about it than you. I mean, when was the last time you was at a tennis
I
club?
don't have to go there to know what sort of people they are.
Why don't you come down tomorrow? Have a look around.
Me?
Yeah? About time you saw me play, innit?
Greaves, this court's reserved.
Who for?
Ladies' doubles. They play here every week at this time.
Well, they're not here yet, are they?
I'm just warning you. You'll have to come off as soon as they arrive.
Terrific.
We do get rather crowded in the late afternoon. If you want to be sure of a court, you'll have to play earlier.
Why can't the old bats play earlier? They haven't got school.
The old bats, as you so charmingly describe them, happen to be founder members of this club, which means they've paid their subscriptions for over 30 years. So they're entitled to a little more consideration than a 14-year-old lad who hasn't paid a penny.
No, they're not. There's nothing in the rules about founder members having special privileges, and juniors are supposed to have equal rights up to 6 o'clock.
Well, yes, Lucy, that's strictly true, but Mrs. Bradley and her friends have done a great deal for this club.
It's got nothing to do with it. If you expect us to stick to the rules, then so must you.
But this young fellow is practicing alone. He has no partner.
He has now.
You're only junior members.
Only junior members? That's typical, that is. How do you expect this country to produce world beaters if people like you treat us like second-class citizens? If this was America, we'd be the ones with the special privileges, not those 4 old bats.
Little fireball, aren't you?
I've been wanting to get that off my chest for a long time. They're prejudiced against juniors here, always hassling us off the courts. If they think we're such a nuisance, they shouldn't take our money.
They don't take mine.
Doesn't make any difference. If they accept you as a member, you have the same rights as everyone else. Come on, we'd better start playing now and made all the fuss.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Can I help you?
Yeah, it's my son. I kind of see him play.
You're Mr. Greaves?
That's right. Yeah, they tell me he's pretty good.
Yes. If only his manners were of the same standard.
Blimey, he's come.
Who?
My old man. First time he's shown any interest.
I'll send you some easy balls then. Make you look good.
Cheeky cow.
What's his name again?
Greaves. Barry Greaves.
And he's how old?
14. Afternoon, Mr. Greaves. How's he doing?
Rotten. He hasn't got the ball back over the net yet.
This is Mike Roper, director of Bentham's, Barry's father.
Oh. Nice to meet you, Mr. Greaves.
The sports firm?
That's right. Frank suggested Barry is a suitable candidate for sponsorship, so I've come down to take a look at him.
Well, there's a chance you might bung him some free gear then.
If he's as good as Frank says he is.
I wish I'd known about you last week. Barry's just forked out 50 quid and all that stuff.
He'll soon grow out of it, Mr. Greaves. At his age, he'll need several complete new outfits every year, plus a regular supply of rackets and balls.
What do you get out of it then?
Publicity.
Worth your while, is it? I mean, it's not as if he was on the telly, is it, eh?
Not yet. Maybe one day.
No, this is just a hobby. He's going to give up all this when he leaves school. Learn a trade.
Yes, well, we're going to see how it goes, aren't we, Mr. Greaves? Maybe this will turn out to be Barry's trade.
Do me a favour, he can't even beat this bird.
We're making him nervous.
What, just by watching him? He's got to get used to spectators, hasn't he? Especially in tournaments.
That's true.
I'll be getting back. I hope you know what you're doing, Frank. Seems to me like you're wasting your time.
Seems to me like the poor kid's got a parent problem.
Yeah.
I don't fancy it, Frank. If there's family opposition, we don't like getting involved. But I can't say I'm impressed by what I've seen so far.
He's just got the elbow. Stick around.
Scared of his old man, eh?
Not scared. Trying to prove something. Trying too hard.
Same old story.
All he needs is time.
I don't know, Frank. If he's going to leave the game in a couple of years...
He's not. Not if I can help it.
But you're not his father.
No.
And he's an unknown quantity. I couldn't commit the company till he's got a couple of tournaments under his belt.
All right. I'll enter him for the county under-16s.
Do you think he's ready?
Ready? Of course I'm ready.
What about your father? You'll need his permission.
No problem. It's my half-term, right? So I won't be missing school.
Well, I'll leave it to you, Barry. But there's something else.
What?
Ask him not to come.
Dad? Why?
Because this first tournament, it's important. And I think he might distract you.
I want him to come. I want him to see me win.
Plenty of time for that.
OK. Don't expect he'll break his heart.
Let me know what he says. See you tomorrow. Bye, Major.
Goodbye, Frank.
Funny.
What?
He never asked me to stop my parents coming.
Yeah, well, they talk proper, don't they? Maybe my old man hasn't got the right accent.
No, Fran doesn't care about things like that.
So, what does he care about?
Winning.
That makes two of us.
3 of us.
You, half-pint no-no, can hardly see over the net.
With the great Barry Greaves to practice with, how could I miss?
I'll drink to that.
To the winners.